I don't know how long
We
it's
did have a
been.
1 week break, so like that, you guys got to give me some break on that one. Like 1 week break.
The, I can hear us on Twitch.
Yeah, we're good. We are live. Yeah, it threw me off a little bit. I was like, I have to stop. So am I hearing myself? Is my mic giving me feedback?
I think I've been on once. I think I was on after I got back from Florida. Maybe twice. Yeah, I was on that.
I know it's been a minute since you and I have been on together.
All right,
Yeah.
This is attempt number 2. We are live with Mitch's mic working. We are, and welcome to Pixel Pints. We are the only global gaming podcast that covers 2 great things on 2 tries, which is good beer and video games. Unfortunately, you'll never get to hear what the first one was the first take around. That's okay. I am.
It's draping every inch of you right now.
Yeah, you just need a Mike Tyson facial tattoo, and that'd finish up the look.
I am your host, Papa Sony, aka alias Mitch. Just kidding. No, my name is Mitch, and I am. McWomple is away. We send him our best wishes. He's not feeling too great over the last few weeks, so hopefully he is able to see somebody and it's not serious and he's all good. So send him best wishes for feeling better soon. And hopefully all the listeners that, you know, the 5 that listen to us, which is mainly us re-listening to the podcast again on our spare time. Except for when Dan's school children decide to peep in on what Dan's up to in his spare time. Then they would go whoosh, hundreds of listeners that we never knew we had. So anyway, hopefully you all give him your best wishes. Evan is also out. He's at a BBQ hosted at his house, so it was best not to have the podcast in the middle of a barbecue. But doesn't matter because we got great people here. I'm your host, Mitch. I'm here in the very dark Los Angeles, but because it's the early mornings of Los Angeles. And only like 4 hours away from me, to my left, well, to my right, but to your left on the screen, people, is one Matthew Burgoff. How you doing?
Yay. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on the show. It's funny that you're in LA, where I used to live. I went to the liquor store today to go pick up some beer. So McWomble had shared a video with us that was it was a beer sommelier, and he was testing all of the American domestic beers. And his two top favorites were Sam Adams and Coors. So a couple weeks ago, I got Coors.
They're not Coors. It's Coors.
Coors Light.
Coors.
Was it Coors or is it Coors Light?
No, Coors. The banquet. Yeah, the banquet beer.
Coors.
Ah, okay.
So that one was his number 1. His number 2 was Sam Adams. I bought Coors.
Thank you.
A couple weeks ago.
Sorry, my family is somehow a huge fan of Coors Light. Like that's their thing. That's just their thing. And I'm like, it's not bad. It's better than Bud Light. So like, basically that's their argument. It's better than Bud Light. And I was like, but you could have better beer than that. And they're like, it's better than Bud Light.
Yeah, but it's easy drinking. Lager's easy drinking, let's be honest.
But you could get Lineys, and that's better tasting and just as light. They're just cheapos.
Anyway, I thought this was really interesting though, because so tonight I have Sam Adams, but
hey, we're not at the beer section yet. Come on now.
We're not at the beer section yet.
Don't get ahead of the host.
I was at the liquor store, right? And so lately I've been listening to a lot of like West Coast gangster rap. And
nice.
I get into the checkout line, and the dude's got Compton tatted on his forearm.
Nice.
And so he's like, "Hey, how you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Oh man, it's fucking hot out there. It's Friday. Like, I'm just trying to go home." He's like, "Hey, you got a number?" Because we got like a discount program for all the Lees out here. So I give him my phone number. I'm like 562 blah blah blah, and he was like, "California." And I was like, yeah. I said it's Long Beach, dude. And I was like, I saw the comp and I was wondering if you recognized the 562, and he did. And he's like, all right, man, you have a good night. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. It was a good interaction.
Is that the end of your story?
That's
the end of my story.
That's so weird. That was a very long story just to say I used to live in California.
I was expecting like something else to happen.
Yeah, I was expecting something
Like,
bigger or
yeah,
cooler to happen. Like,
No,
I don't know,
it.
you won a contest where like when you gave the number, you got free beer. Like, I was so confused of what the reference was, and when you got to the end, it finally came together, but it came together in the weirdest way.
Sorry about
Well, I
that.
thought you were going to say, like, he was like, do you want to hang out and have a beer? Like, I don't know, I was expecting you to get on that right. I was like really confused.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, you just said you were... Okay.
Well, anyway, skipping the most fascinating story about Burkoff's phone number, which we know the first 3 digits of, we'll get the rest of it if you watch the rest of the show. We got all the way across the pond early in the morning. We got Mr. Dan. He hasn't been on in quite some time. How you been?
About a month, I think. Yeah, good.
How's
Yeah.
baby?
I just got back from
Baby
honeymooning.
cruise.
Yeah, I just got back from honeymooning on a cruise. I think everyone should travel via cruising going forward. It was the most amazing, and I love travel, but it was like 5-star luxury. I didn't feel too old, actually. There was people younger than me, which was a bit of a shock, and average age was probably about 35, 36, I reckon. So yeah, it was good. We had like, good times. The nightclub was open till like 4 a.m. So I was there, like living up my high life.
Living like you're 22 again.
Yeah, exactly. And the best thing was it was free room service. So you get back to the room at like 2 a.m. and order like a burger and a drink before bed.
Damn. Wait, is there a limit? Is there a limit to like how many times you can order? Like, what if you just ordered room service like an hour every day, being like, I need this.
So
yeah,
I've heard about this.
You can sit in your room. You can sit in your room all day, never leave, and just order stuff to your room.
There's like a ticket that you get, right? Like you order an extra, like, hey, I want unlimited alcohol. Give me that ticket that I can use.
Yeah. So basically, you had a little like disc which had all your information. Which was cool. It's all like electronic now, and you walk up to your room. It's a bit creepy, actually. It's like the future, and like your photo would pop up on your screen door and go, "Welcome, Dan. Welcome back." And the door automatically opens as you walk up to it. I'm like, "Oh my god, being trapped." It's a bit creepy like that, but it was fun. Once you get over that like Big Brother experience, it was fine. But yeah, no, your drinks package is linked to that, so you just like pop it on something, and it goes premium drinks package. So yeah, basically. And then within that like package, you got all your gratuities paid for. It was an American ship, so otherwise you would have had to pay for a tip every single time the person came to your room. But
I was about to ask. That was going to be my second question about that.
That's so dangerous. So dangerous though, because like
I never leave my room.
If you just get like hammered all the time, like, oh, it's on the chip, whatever, just charge it. Like.
Yeah, so basically the thing about the chip is you only get 15 alcoholic drinks.
Okay.
So
they do limit you.
Catch you on that. And actually, I was at the bar. I got back. I was down at the spa and I came up to the pool deck to like get a drink and go in the pool. And I was sat there, and some American guy sits down next to me and goes, a bit like wobbly, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just chatting." And his wife comes over and goes, "What are you doing back at the bar? You've got 3 unfinished beers over there. Come back now. We're gonna go." And he's like, "I'm fine. Let me know I'm talking." And then the bartender goes, "Sorry, man," and just gives him a water. And he goes, "I want another beer." And he's like, "No, you're not having any more beer for a while. Have a water for now."
I feel like for me, if I had that.
Love it.
I feel like if I had that full service, what I'd just do is I literally would just bring a console, hook it up to the TV in my room, and just constantly order food and drinks to be delivered to me as I play as many freaking video games as possible.
Yeah.
The best thing about the ship was there's always stuff going on. So like, and also where we were on my wife had got us on like the pool deck, our room. So I literally walked out there, and straight outside when you went onto the deck, which was about a 1.5 minute walk, was the pizza station. So I just go in there. I was like, "Oh, do you fancy a slice?" And I wander out, get my slice of pizza, come back. The thing is, the pizza was the only thing you had to pay for if you wanted it. The whole pizza delivered. So everything, so you had to go collect the pizza, but I didn't mind because I was on the same floor of it.
Yeah,
if I'd been like a few floors away, that'd have been a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the 2 a.m. room service. So like my wife became obsessed with Frank's. Is it not Frank's?
Oh, I thought you said pranks.
Nathan's.
Where she would like order you a sandwich while you were sleeping and be like, "Dan, you have a sandwich. You ordered it."
No, that'd have been great. No, she became obsessed with Nathan's hot dogs when we were in America.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This show has already gone off the rails. I mean, I know Keith is just gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing, Mitch?" This is what happens when you host a show. Things go off the rails.
So on the ship, obviously because it was an American ship, that was all the hot dogs. So then she would order a hot dog at like God knows what time. Because we got back to the UK and I was like, "Oh, do you fancy hot dogs?" "Oh yeah, I really like them in America." And I got some like dodgy English hot dogs, and she ate one. She was like, "This is rubbish." I was like, "See, man, so the only way you go is Nathan's American hot dog." And she goes, "Yeah, that's true." So so she was excited when we got on board and they had Nathan's hot dogs.
That is super interesting because I wouldn't think of the hot dog as being one of the things that anybody outside of the U.S. would like. But I guess there's a lot of countries that have like sausages and stuff like that are eaten out of a bun.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of hot dog, but yeah, Nathan's is like top level. I love Nathan's hot dogs. That's very good. But anyway, so my cruise was really good. Basically, all I could eat, all I could drink. Went to some lovely places. Got a week away from my beautiful son, which was a nice rest. Felt back to my parents who had the tornado for a week because he's now a tornado. And yeah, it was nice. And now just enjoying my last 2.5 weeks of holiday before I start the job again. It's been a while. It'll be 8 weeks to when I go back since I last finished work. So it's a bit. I've forgotten all my passwords. So I went into school to log on the other day, and I was like, I have no idea what I need to type in here to get all access. I tried all my usual ones. None of them worked. I've emailed IT. They're on holiday, so we'll see if that gets rectified before I get back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Well, on the show.
But anyway, it was good.
On the show, we talk about two great things. One is great beer. Now, for a certain reason, I already partied earlier, so I do not want to drink another beer tonight. So, I was drinking a strawberry cider beer. It was very, very good. I was surprised on how, and it actually tasted more weedy. It was a cider, but it really didn't taste like a cider. It tasted more like a wheat beer. Okay. I'll have to go look up what the name of it was. I left the bottle at my desk, so I can't go. I have to wait until I go back and see what it is. But if I get it, I'll come back and bring it on the show. All right. But yeah, besides that, right now I'm going to drink energy drink just so I stay awake and don't fall asleep in the middle of the podcast, and then therefore the stream doesn't go on for 12 hours while I'm sleeping, just going.
kind of like I've done in the past, probably.
You've gotten close. You've gotten close on the lost episodes of the Bureumvirate. You've been close. I got on Pixel Fights. I got a very long conversation about Hideo Kojima and how much he has betrayed your trust. But Burkoff, you were talking about beer earlier. What are you drinking?
I am drinking the Sam Adams Boston Lager, just the regular old Sam Adams.
Going classy.
So I literally was driving home today, and I was like, I want to get some beer, but I don't know what I'm gonna get. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, you know what? I haven't used that Sam Adams glass in a while. So Sam Adams has their own specially designed glass that they've done for their Boston Lager. So like even the UPC label is shaped like glass.
Shape of glass.
The question though is, Burkoff, how did you pour your bottle your glass of beer?
Aggressive, because we saw that sommelier guy pour his beer aggressive and get out some of the carbonation so you don't feel so
they're
full
when you're doing your beer. Yep. So apparently Evan's pour is the correct pour. We've been mocking Evan's pour for years. And now we've realized we were wrong all along.
I don't think it's the correct pour. I just think it's a good way to stay.
No,
It's a different type of pour.
This is the John Tapper. He's the man. You don't deny John Tapper. He go yell in your face.
The thing is, we all pour wrong unless you've got a hand pulled ale.
Right.
Out of a can, it never pours properly. Really.
Well,
that's what you need, or a bottle.
Ever since
that's the best. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like the watching when you go. That's what I got. But when I came back from the US, I went to the pub and just that awesome crank hand manual pumping for the ale I was drinking is just so satisfying, and it just settles amazingly.
Where did you go in the US? Did you go anywhere in particular and have some beers?
No, I didn't actually drink anything. I just drank like dodgy. Actually, no, that's not true. Actually, that's actually not true. I drank a lot of Yingling because it's my go-to American beer.
All right, Mikey would appreciate
PA
that.
when I worked in PA, that was my go-to. If I'm gonna drink trash, it'll be Bud Light. But if I'm actually drinking a appreciated lager, it's a Yingling. America's oldest brewer. There you go.
Well, ever since I showed that video to a friend of mine that I play tennis with, that we go to the bar after, just to chat and stuff.
Yeah.
He has now consistently, every time he gets a beer from the bar, he'll take a napkin and he'll dunk it in there really quick to get the gases going, because he's like I feel so much better when I drink it that way. And then everyone else mocks him because they're like, you're losing all the flavor. It goes sour. And he's like, no, it doesn't. It's fine. It's a little flat. It's a tiny little bit flat, but he's like, it's not enough to dissatisfy my comfort of drinking this beer and not feeling full. So more power to him. So he's like, and he's a believer. He's a believer. That's what we're calling it now. It's a believer.
Fair enough. So beer wise, I haven't got anything on me, but and on my cruise, I was drinking cocktails most of the time because of the weather. And why not? Why not drink cocktails?
Wait. What is your go-to? What were the cocktails? Come on. Maybe a beer show, but cocktails count.
There were the ones that were included. So because of the heat, there was pina coladas. I was drinking a lot of pina coladas. I was drinking a lot of strawberry daiquiris.
Okay.
And then my evening drink was a combination of either Jim Beam and Coke or Kraken and ginger ale. So dark and stormy.
All right.
They're my two evening drinks.
No Bloody
Marys? No, because I didn't have to get up early because I didn't have a child, so I just slept in. It was fantastic. And then by the time I woke up, I was like, it's beer o'clock. Let's start drinking again.
Another good one to do in the hot sun, a mojito.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we drank a lot of mojitos. Sorry, I drank a lot of mojitos. To be fair, mojito is my go-to cocktail, but I decided there was 5 different bottles on the ship, and only 2 of them did a decent mojito. The other 3 were a bit dodgy, depending on the bartender. So then we just went to the one place to get the mojito. I went
to Puerto Vallarta in February before I got hired by Naughty Dog. Actually, hilarious enough, I got my offer letter to work for them via email in Puerto Vallarta. But anyway, awesome. Nice. I also missed 3 phone calls from them because apparently they called me 3 times, and I was at the pool and I was like, oh yeah, my watch is connected to my phone. It'll totally tell me. And then all of a sudden my phone apparently was not in direct sunlight, but my bag became warm enough that it overheated the phone. The phone turned off. And so that's why I didn't hear it. And I was like, shit. So I checked it during lunch, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, while I was there, we were I would always do one order around of every drink I like with the bartender that was there to see, okay, what's the one they do well? And then just keep ordering that from them and remember who they are, because some days the bloody sucked. Some days the bloody was great. Some day the mojito sucked. Some days the mojito was great.
Yep.
So you had to figure out who was the bartender that's going to give you the good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I discovered. Who can make it well? But sometimes just don't make it well.
Yeah, sometimes
so then my wife did that because we were on the deck. We first got on the ship. I was like, she's like, what do you want? I was like, oh yeah, we can order drinks. Amazing. So I was like, we were sitting in the port, and I was like, oh, I have a mojito. and it was amazing. And my wife was like, "Oh, a bit jealous." And then we went downstairs later on. She was like, "Oh, get a mojito," and it was like garbage. She was like, "Damn it!" But my wife's go-to cocktail was a frozen margaritas. She loves that tequila.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So talking about that, so I got off the ship. When I got off the ship, I did drink some beer, and the beer I did post it in our Pixel Pint group a few weeks ago, but I thought I'd talk about it in the show. Was a Greek beer called Mythos, and I would like to drink it over a nice view of the Mediterranean. It was okay. It was a lager. It was quite, what I'd say, like hoppy for a lager. It wasn't. For the heat, it was surprisingly flavorful.
It looks.
You know, like normally,
it looks very light. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it was light, but it was more flavorful than I was expecting. Yeah. So it was. I think it was okay. I don't know if I could have drunk many of them in the heat. So it was a bit of a strange one. I was like, I expected it to be a bit more lighter to taste, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. So yeah, that was my and recently I haven't really drank since I got back because I kind of overdid it on the ship. So I'm just kind of trying to detox. I was eating like 5 meals a day. So there was afternoon tea at 3:00 every single. I was like afternoon tea on the ship every day at 3:00, and dinner was at between 6 and 10. So I'd make sure I go for afternoon tea and then try and walk off some calories on the ship.
I was going to say, you gained an extra like 30-40 pounds while you're away?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I definitely feeling everything a bit tighter when I got home. As I didn't take.
Well, we talk about great beer, but our second topic is always great video games. And today is a fascinating one because this got me thinking. We have had more delays of more games recently within the last month. Also, it's a very slow month in games, so we have to come up with some kind of topic. But there's been conversations about multiple reasons of like more games are getting delayed, like Hogwarts Legacy delayed to February of next year. Marvel Midnight Suns, that's also getting delayed into next year. So like there's just so many things are just starting to get delayed. And then there's conversation of like, is God of War scaring them all the way? Are they afraid to take that spot and lose the sales? All that kind of stuff, which is totally not true because most of these games don't know when these other games are coming out. We don't talk about these things with each other, people. Come on now. What are we? That's how you get leaks, people. That's how you get leaks. Don't do that. We don't share dates. But basically I thought, like some of these games are getting delayed, and obviously there's reasons that they do. It's always for the better that a game is getting delayed because it's going to make the game better. It gives the dev more time to work on it, to fix the issues that need to be fixed, or to fine-tune the mechanics that need to be fine-tuned. It is never bad for a game to be delayed. It only makes it better for the most part. Unless it's a bad idea to start. That I can't speak for. But anyway, with that being said, because so many games are getting delayed into next year, there is going to be a crowded space. Whereas if it was released at this time period, in November or even December, it would at least have a better window than it would next year. So I pose the question to you, gentlemen. What game or games, we can go around if we think more than one, but I have one. What game or games do you think is hindered because it is moving to next year? Because of the crowded space, that it's going to lose its opportunity to shine like it should be able to shine, but it can't because it has been delayed. And now it's going to be cramped a bunch of other games.
Right. So I think the number one.
Whoa! I didn't pick you first, Burkoff. Come on now. I didn't pick you first, bro. I didn't pick you first. Let the host pick who goes, and then you can go.
I figured you were trailing off. You were like you were leading into it. I was like, I'm gonna pick this up.
No.
I thought it was a great transition. If you ask me.
No, it's not a great transition. The host leads you in the direction that you must go. Burkoff, do you really? Do you have a really interesting one you want to start with?
Do you know which one I'm going to start with?
I don't know. Go for it.
I think you know which one I'm going to start with.
Which one are you going to start with, bro? Let's go. Come on.
I'm going to start with Starfield because
that's not the one I thought you were going to start with, but okay.
Todd Howard gave us that date, and like that was a big deal, like 11/11/11.
No, it wasn't 11/11/11. It's not the year 2011.
But with Skyrim, like he hit that date and everybody trusted him. So when he came out and he was going to be like, all right, Starfield's coming out on this day, and they had that trailer, like everybody was like, okay, this is going to happen. And Big Phil was like, nope, this shit is not coming out. Like, you are not going to lie to the people.
I'm surprised you believed him. He works for Phil Spencer now. Phil Spencer doesn't put out games. I'm surprised
he just puts out hopes and dreams.
He just puts out hopes and dreams, and he just tries to stretch it as long as possible. And then when the game gets released, it's super thin. No, I don't know how you didn't read the signs and the symbols in the air. Now, if it was a Todd Howard not owned by Xbox, he might have hit that date.
I doubt it.
I think you would have. Unfortunately, we would have had another Fallout 76 on our hands. So it's probably good you didn't hit the date.
Well, Berghoff, why do you think it's going to hinder the game moving next year?
So, all right. So the topic that you posed was what are the worst game delays for what they are, right?
No, but why do you think it hurts? My question is what game do you think gets hurt the most by moving to next year instead of being released this year? So why would Starfield get hurt worse by moving to next year?
I think Starfield gets hurt worse because people aren't going to care about it in 8 months or whenever the fuck it's going to come out. You know what I mean? Like it's going to come out, and I think people are going to lose interest. Yeah, like it built up all this hype, and it was going to come out, and then like no, just kidding. It's actually going to be.
Well, can I make a point about Gamepass? So yeah. they've missed the 2-year window on release of the Xbox that you got if you pay away your Xbox. You got 2 years Xbox Game Pass subscription, and I'm teetering on whether to re-subscribe currently. There's a few reasons why I'm not won't, and mainly because there's been no games. So you'd think you put that in just at the resubscription window, so you get a couple of weeks with it, then you resubscribe to carry on playing it. Whereas now, my subscription will lapse, and I probably won't. Maybe I might even play this game now. I'll see how it goes. But
yeah, I think there's a lot of people like you, Dan, that would have not. They're not going to buy it. You know what I mean? But they would have definitely played it if it was on Game Pass. So
let me be
in that same window.
Let me be a good host, and also this is my most anticipated game of 2022. Until 2023, just making it very clear, it's my most anticipated game. I think it's going to be the greatest game ever made. But to push back on you, because I must defend my ultimate favorite game of all time. I'm contractually obligated to say this for our listeners. Contractually obligated, just for 3 more months, 4 more months, however more months. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is to push back on you, Berghoff. Have they not released very much information about Starfield? It's not like they revealed the entire game and like you saw full immersion of like playing the first 10 minutes of the game. We've only seen 2 trailers. So when you say like everyone's seen everything and it's going to lose its wonder, why do you feel that way if they really haven't shown anything of the game, to be truthfully honest?
All right, so they haven't in terms of like big reveal stuff, but if you've been following the project, there are these constellation videos that they've been doing, which are marketing videos that are specifically for like the hardcore Bethesda nerds. And like they're little vignettes of the developers talking about different parts of the game. Mm-hmm. So
but do you those
are out there, and I mean I've already seen all those.
Yeah, yes, but again, let me push back one more time. But do you think that this game is going to transcend the regular consumer? Like people are putting the comparison on this game to the next Cyberpunk 2077, whether it's in regards to like marketing push, exposure, interest in not just hardcore gamers, but in the general audience. So do you feel as if that because like me, even me as a core gamer, I mean, obviously I don't have a lot of extra time on my hands like I used to. I don't catch up on the news as often as I used to, but I didn't even know that they were releasing these individual videos. And so wouldn't you think the general audience wouldn't catch that either? Which would be a bulk of their sales.
Right, which I think, goes back to the point that Dan was making, where like the casual person is going to look and see, oh, hey, there's nothing on Game Pass, and I'm out of my contract now, so why
they just can resubscribe when it
comes?
But
why though?
No. I mean, they can just they can resubscribe once Starfield comes out.
It's much easier with, oh, this is an every month expense. To okay, I don't have this expense anymore. Now I have to restart it just for this game.
It's true.
Oh, so you're dinging Game Pass. This is new.
Well,
this is new. I like this. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm digging the fact that they don't have the constant feed. You need to have it
for sure.
It's
totally agreement. It makes total sense.
Well, it's the same with if you think, like that game should have been there then, and because it fell out of the year, it will hurt it because now, and obviously not everyone's in my boat, and there's other consoles, but now there's other games that will come out on PlayStation 5 in that new year that I'd rather pay for than save my monthly subscription for 4 months, which then will pay for 2 PlayStation 5 games that I'd play, and then I'll play Starfield maybe in a year and a half's time. You know what I mean? Now I'm in no rush. Whereas if it come out in November and I had the active subscription, I may not have bought a Christmas game on PlayStation, and I'll just carry on playing, subscribing to Xbox.
I'm sorry, you're not telling me you would not buy God of War Ragnarok. I feel like that's a fib.
What?
Dan would.
Well, no.
You'd rather
I'm not
pay
going to buy
for
it on release, though.
Oh, you're not going to buy it on release?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Then what's the point? I'll wait because can't play it in term time. I'm too busy. So I'll play it in
spoilers, dude.
And if it's gone down $10, £15, that's perfect for me. If it hasn't, I'll pay full price at that point.
You better go on media blackout, bro, because there's gonna be a bunch of spoilers.
I'm not. The thing is, regardless, my kids will spoil it for me in the classroom. It's not spoilers are not a really thing.
Mr. Dan, Atreus kills Kratos. Did you see that? Did you watch that? I don't know if that really happens.
I just think I don't have the time. I only play in the holidays. That's the other thing. So the next big holiday after this holiday, I've got a week in October, but it's not. No, I don't really have the time. But Christmas would be the next time I'd sit down and play a big single player game. And that's why Starfield had been out. I probably would have been playing that. And also the difference is because it's already there, I don't have to put more money down. Let's say if it was still had stayed there, then I'm more likely to play it for an hour a night or half an hour, whatever, and jump into it. Whereas a God of War, because I'm not that worried. I'm excited, but I'm not I wouldn't. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I wouldn't buy it. Does that make sense? Because I'm God forbid, I'm not a Skyrim fan. So, but whereas I would pay the $70 or 70 quid or whatever for God of War, but I'd rather play that, sit down, got 4 or 5 hours to really get into it. So that's just me as a gamer. Everyone's different.
So I think Burkoff, you're actually making an interesting argument that not only hurts Starfield, it hurts Game Pass and Microsoft.
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
Which actually
not having those exclusives and those. That's the whole model right now.
Well, just imagine this too. And this was I just thought about this. Starfield. They said they're tentatively probably next summer is what they're shooting for, right? They kind of said around next year.
Some shit,
something like that.
It's gonna come out whenever. I'll play it when it comes out.
But here's the thing. What also is coming out next summer? Final Fantasy. That's going to be fascinating to see those two juggernauts go at it.
Which Final Fantasy is coming out next year?
Isn't that 16's date? Isn't 16 coming out next summer?
I know they had tightened up the game. I didn't know when it was actually coming out, though.
I believe they said summer. I believe they said summer 2023.
Okay, so they didn't give an exact date. They just said a ballpark.
Neither did Starfield.
Okay.
So.
I thought Starfield was before the tech shit. Has it slipped
Well-
all the way into that next financial year?
Is Final Fantasy 16 one of your picks for
No.
like
No,
delays?
because technically, again, it wasn't dated.
I was gonna
for-
say technically it
was
wasn't
never
delayed.
But do you want my game
Yeah.
actually?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
What is your game?
You want my game? Oh, over Dan's? Oh, okay. I'll take it. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, you're more important than me.
Papa Sony.
Yeah, all they've said is summer 2023, whereas Xbox said
for-
first half of 2023.
That's still gonna be
Okay.
summer.
All right.
So
Yeah.
it probably will be. Yeah.
Yeah, probably be summer.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd be,
But anyways, those
I thought I'd just be accurate
That-
with what had been said.
that's
Right.
no, I appreciate it. And actually, that will still be interesting if those two, like, even if they're like a month apart, those two juggernauts going at it is going to be fascinating to see the results of it, because Final Fantasy 13 Final Fantasy 13 sold gangbusters. I think it sold over 15 million copies. It was the best-selling Final Fantasy game of all
We
time.
talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry, 15.
15?
Sorry, 15. I'm getting all these numbers mixed up. Sorry, 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say 13 was the total disappointment.
The
I feel
total
like.
disappointment. Yeah. Sorry. 15 ended up selling gangbusters. It sold like over 15 million copies. It was its best-selling Final Fantasy game of all time. So like,
Which makes no sense, but yeah.
I mean, hey, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. I think if you talk to me and Evan both say it's a solid game. It's a good game. It's not a great game. It's a good game. It's got the bones of a great game. It just failed to execute because of its development hell, unfortunately. But anyways,
I fell off
Forspoken.
it, but I did have fun with it.
Yes,
I
and
fell off it,
Forspoken.
I had fun with it.
And Forspoken is going to be their swan song to save their ass, to show that they were kick-ass developers all along, because I think that thing's showing up to be really good. But anyway, that's not my pick. My pick is something similar to that one, though. It's coming around the same date, which is the reason why I think it's going to bomb. And that is, unfortunately, Liam didn't take the time to wake up, so he can't argue with me about this one. And I'm going to go Hogwarts Legacy. Bam. I think moving out of this year is killing its chances. I think people are really excited about a Harry Potter game, but I think at the same time, the date they chose is very suspicious. It's around a fiscal year, which then makes it seem as if they're just trying to put it out and they're not actually going to have it ready to go. And it's going to be really polished, like I think a game like this needs to be, especially for how open, expansive it is for all many systems it seems like it's having within the game set. I think the other elements too within it is that it's coming around the same time as a game called Forspoken, which is a similar type game. It is a fantasy, magical, action adventure game, and I think Forspoken has an advantage because I think they have a secret weapon, and that is Amy Hennig with her writing, which is fantastic writing that she has done. And I'm not saying this because I work for the studio that she wrote some of the great games for. It's because she's just a kick-ass writer and she writes great stuff. So I think Forspoken has also grasped a lot of people's attention, and I think people are very hyped about this game. And yes, is there a Harry Potter audience? Is it going to sell okay? I think it will sell okay, but I think it could have sold even better if it was around the holiday season, because people would be buying it for the grandchildren like hotcakes. It would be this year's Spider-Man for how many people would be buying copies of Hogwarts.
There's 2 weeks between, or 2.5 weeks between the two games coming out.
Yep.
With Forspoken coming out first.
And I think that's the thing. Like if it was Hogwarts coming first, I think it would have a better shot. But because Forspoken comes out first, I think it also hinders Hogwarts Legacy dramatically.
So I don't think that it going up against Forspoken hurts it. I say that only because
I think
I'm probably more in.
You don't think it's going after the same consumer?
I think
personally,
I think what's going on with J.K. Rowling is going to hurt it more than going up against Forspoken.
No, I don't think it's it. No, I don't think that's it. I think personally, for me, I'm more interested in Hogwarts than I am Forspoken. So if I'm looking at like that release window and I have to buy one game out of the two, it would be Hogwarts.
Oh, it's baloney, Berghoff. You just don't like the developer because they worked on Final Fantasy 15.
No, it really is the dialogue and the voice acting that they showed in the trailer, the most recent trailer. That was what put me off of the game. Because I thought it had the potential to be really good. And like fish out of water, magic in a fantasy world, like okay, that's been done before.
But in games, has it really been done that often? I don't really think so.
Maybe not in games, but I mean, it is a story trope.
But here's the other thing, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you so much, but also, name me a bunch of, like, I know we hear about this trope of being like, oh yeah, this is a trope, it's used so often. A random person put into a magical world. I think of Narnia. I think of maybe Digimon. Well, like name me maybe Page Master. But besides that, what's other ones that are like thrown into a magical world?
Those are some really
Jumanji.
good,
that's not. That's the world coming to the human world. That's not. That's the opposite.
Like for me,
the new games, the new films.
Oh, that's a video game. That's not a magical world. That's a video game. That's a video game movie. It's not a magical world.
I'm talking about
the. Sorry, hold on. One last thing, just to like, because Dan tried to take my thing and change it, and I'm trying to make sure he knows. Hold on. I'm just trying to understand I'm trying to help you understand the box I'm putting this in. Is like, have you seen the movie Page Master? Like the epicness of fantasy films.
Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
Yes. So like,
awesome.
what I'm talking about is basically like epic fantasy films, not video game films. I'm not talking about The Matrix. I'm talking about just a fish out of water for something that is high fantasy. There isn't very many of those, especially nowadays.
So the other aspect of that too is the fact that the character's already made. And so I feel like
that's
Hogwarts,
a big no-no for Berko.
Yeah, I feel like Hogwarts. The character's already made.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, sorry.
It's already. Yeah, I like to create my own character. So, like Hogwarts, I feel like I would be down for because even though I have no connection,
be running around.
Even though I've got no connection to like the Hogwarts magic, world or whatever, I could create a wizard and get into that universe.
Okay,
but it would be my wizard.
Just for fun. Dan and I are going to pick which house we think you would be picked into from the Sorting Hat. You ready, Dan?
All right.
You go first. Which house do you think Berkoff would go into?
I think he'd probably be a Ravenclaw.
Oh, see, I think he's going to be a Hufflepuff.
Oh,
I've heard Hufflepuff more than once.
I was between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw.
Yeah,
he's definitely not Slytherin. Or
no.
That's what I was thinking in my head.
I've definitely but I don't know if he's seen. Have you seen the viral video of "I'm a Hufflepuff," Berkoff?
No.
Okay, after this, okay, for all our listeners, if you have not watched this, go online to YouTube and just look up "I'm a Hufflepuff" and just watch it. And then I'm gonna send this to Berkoff after the show. Actually, I'm gonna make him watch this after the show. Maybe I'll make this like an after Pixel Pints thing where I literally will play this on the stream. So stay after the music. I'm gonna make him watch this, and we're all gonna watch it together. Of I'm a Hufflepuff. Because he needs to watch this because it's fantastic. So go watch I'm a Hufflepuff. But I think he's a Hufflepuff.
The one thing that worries me about Hogwarts Legacy is in my head, the game I want, and obviously they've already given me quite a lot, I want to be able to learn the spells that I want to learn and master those spells and not be gated because I haven't learned a type of spell. And I guarantee you it's going to be a hand-holding. You need to learn this spell. You need to learn that spell. And that's what upsets me. I think that would be the pure immersion of this type of game, is if they actually said you could learn any spell and that will get you through the game, but it's not going to be like that. But
what's interesting? All right, QuakeCon is going on right now, and one of the games that's on sale is Arx Fatalis, which is a game that was done by the Dishonored guys. I can't remember the name of the studio. Anyway,
Arcane?
Yeah, Arcane. Arx Fatalis is a successor to Ultima Underworld, and the magic system in that is you literally draw the runes with your mouse. To me, that feels like a Harry Potter thing with the wand, being able to like, yeah.
What's another game I felt like you do that? Shoot, I can't think of it. Oh, you do that in Okami.
Like I feel
Yeah,
like
kind of. You kind of do it in a comedy. Yeah.
Mitch, like in the trailer, they're like, "Oh, you can ally with these people." I feel like for me, it would never be like. It'll be for me. It would have been like if I could, like, if I decided not to learn to levitate people, but I could like get my I could become friends with the levitator and bring her along on the quest to do the levitating part. That would be more my thing. Like I could learn to like power spells rather than like crappy spells. You know what I mean?
I think
or like healing spells or. I know I'm building a game that doesn't exist, but that's kind of the way I would like it.
Not totally. I get you, and I think also that is another reason why I pick it of being hindrance by the date is that because my nervousness is we don't know a lot, and I'm just going off the information I know and what I think the game could do based off of my knowledge of the industry. A knowledge of systems and like how those things work and what can consoles handle, because people's imaginations have recently gone wild in what they think consoles can really do, and it's like, okay, let's go on to planet Earth now here. Like
check your expectations.
That's literally what happened to Cyberpunk 20.
Ray tracing now, damn it, Mitch. There's ray tracing. It exists.
No, that's like this is the thing that happened to Cyberpunk 2077. Everyone just all of a sudden got into this thing of like they did something no game has ever done in my life because it's not possible. It's not real. You can't do it. And people just couldn't get their hands wrapped around that these people were yes, they're ambitious. We always are. When we make games, we're always ambitious about what we want to do for a project. But there's also a thing called reality. And we can be ambitious as we want on a project, but once reality hits, we need to be truthful to our audience. And that was an issue with Cyberpunk 2077. And other developers do a better job of not doing that to people. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot of information out about this game. And I think that also hurts it a little bit because it seems like there's a lot of systems going on in this game, which can cause a lot of issues. And I think there will be times where I think it's going to turn off people, Burkoff, is in especially because Forspoken's coming first. People are going to play that. They're going to maybe get Harry Potter.
So,
hold on. So they're gonna get Forspoken, maybe enjoy that so far. Then they're gonna get Harry Potter, and maybe they're like, "Oh, you're in potions class," and what if the class is really freaking boring? What if like the mechanics they have you do is like quick time events? And like you're like, this is what potions class is like, or what? And it's like you have to do 3 potions class a day or something like that, or 3 potions classes a week. And you're like, I don't want to do this mini game over and over again. But like for some people, it's really fun. But for someone like you, it's like, I don't like this. Why in the hell do I have to do this? And it's almost as if that's the problem when you have like school stuff. And that, I think that's also an issue slightly with Persona 5 is like some people don't mind the school stuff. But the nice part about the school stuff, it's really darn short. And then the rest of it is very long.
So
the only other thing that won't...
Wait, hold on. Let Burkoff talk, because he wanted to talk and I cut him off.
Sorry.
For once, I'm going to let him talk.
I'm on to like different fucking... I'm on to different concepts right now. So originally when I was going to stop you, I don't remember what the hell I was going to say. But what I was going to say right now, though, with like the mini games, is Bully had the same thing where you had to like be in class, and there were like these different mini games that you played throughout the day. If Hogwarts does it like that, I'm totally down for that shit.
But here, I guess that thing for me is like that was great for PS2. We're now at PS5.
I think it'll still be good now, though. Honestly.
I don't think it passes. To maybe you, it does, but maybe, to a more modern gamer, no. That's just a no.
What I would say about the problem why I don't think you'll be as detrimental to Hogwarts is the fact that Forspoken is a PlayStation 5 timed exclusive. So you've got all those Xbox people actually maybe purchasing a game because they haven't purchased a game for about 3 years because of Gamepass, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll buy a game, and they might buy this.
Well, they might. Well, here's 2 things. One, the thing is being marketed by Sony, so like people forget it even comes out for Xbox, and then 2, people will be on Game Pass that they won't realize they can't get it, and they don't want to spend an additional $70 plus their $15 a month they already pay, or their $10 a month they're paying. So they're paying $80 just to play Hogwarts Legacy when they had to buy for their Game Pass subscription. Like, I wonder if the additional $10 will go into people's brains of like, oh shit, I'm actually spending $80 for this game right now because I'm buying Game Pass too.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think that it's a hindrance. They're too close together. They're just that's just the thing. Like if Hogwarts Legacy, and this will be my final thing, we'll move to Dan, which is like if Hogwarts Legacy was moved to March, I think I would be not as nervous and I wouldn't put it on my list. But that if since it's so close to Forspoken, they're somewhat similar in regards to aesthetic, feel, magic, fantasy, high fantasy, all that kind of stuff.
So it's interesting that you say that, because Forspoken is very much like Uncharted, and
no.
I feel like
Uncharted is not an open world action RPG. That's not what it is.
Well, no, but I feel like Forspoken is going to be more scripted.
Uncharted's not open world, is it?
I mean, it has sub-open world sections in Uncharted 4.
Okay. I feel like Forspoken is going to be more scripted like that.
No, not according to the developer. It is an open world action RPG. There will be some linear experiences like in certain sections of the game for missions, but it is an open world game, they said.
If it's not like directed and scripted, then does she talk like that the entire game and just randomly, like when you're in the world?
Well, hold on, back up. Like when we watched, so for this, and
I'm curious about this because I thought it was like a specific part of the game they were showing us.
Yeah, and I'm trying to answer this is the tricky part about trailers. Sometimes they over telegraph things in trailers that actually isn't the true experience. Excuse me, in game, to make sure that it comes across to the viewer of what kind of experience you're getting, and not necessarily it's going to be the same exact thing you're going to get. So like an example is sometimes they add extra dialogue in gameplay in a trailer just to make sure that the gamer understands what's happening in the scene. But when you actually play the game, they minimize that a little bit more because it's already telegraphed by actually playing the game and experiencing the full flowage of hours. So we don't know if that character is going to be bantering for that long. Could it? Yes. But is it a possibility? But is it a possibility that couldn't happen? That is also true. It is a possibility that it wouldn't happen. So we just don't know. That's something we can't say for certainty.
Okay.
All right, Dan, kick us off. What do you got? Because I think I can come up with another one if Burkhoff can think of another one.
I've got two, but they kind of sit over each other.
Well, why don't you do one? We'll go around, and then we'll come back to you last. Best for last.
They relate each other. They relate to each other.
Okay,
they impact
fine.
each other.
Oh, fine. Fine. Just mess things up for the host. Just try and tell the host what to do.
So my two games are... Well, actually, I'll talk about the first game, and then I'll talk about the next game.
Well, hold on. Can I just say, Dan? There's one game you won't be talking about, and that's Mario Rabbids, because someone lied to you and said it was going to get delayed. They did not. Yeah, I know. They're sleeping, so they didn't have time to wake up and fight me on this one. So take my shots while I can.
I had great faith, and then I was told, to my devastation, that they're going to delay it, and now that's my next Switch purchase. Which would be nice because I started replaying Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which was fun.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
Let's Go is fucking awesome.
I had the box and I couldn't find the cartridge because my nephew's playing it and he wanted to trade some Pokemon. I was like, I'll do it, and I couldn't find it. And then my friend in Japan comes back and visits me, opens his Switch case and goes, "Oh, this is yours." And what would you know? My Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu has been in Japan for 3 years being held hostage. So there we go. But
sorry, I forgot. McWomble's in the chat, so I must acknowledge.
There's a nice Evan.
Oh, there you go. There's a Evan Poor. McWomble's in the chat, so I must acknowledge him, or else he would hate me for life. He said Mitch is blending into He's saying Mitch is blending into his chair. Thank you.
And you're also blending into your what's it called? Your blinds. because they're grey and your hat's grey.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'm gonna be invisible soon, people. He said 4 dev interviews and a 10 more like 8-minute presentation. I don't know what that was in reference to. Maybe it's to my like me getting the job.
No, I was talking about Starfield and the Constellation.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense. And then the last one is there's a lot of pushing Matt. At what point does it become assault? Clearly, we don't assault Matt. Matt is kind enough and gracious enough to let us yell at him on a consistent basis. He is clear to speak. And also, he is his own person. He is free to speak his mind, and if he does not like it, he is more than happy to tell us to please stop, and we will stop.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Womble started that.
He started it.
Womble started ignoring Matt, so he's just feeling guilty for his own antics.
Well, Dan, unfortunately, that's not a great as a teacher, as you should know. Even though it's not right, just because McWomble started it doesn't mean we have to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dan. What are your games?
So, Metal Slug Tactics.
Oh shit! Yeah, I do want to play that.
I was very excited for this game.
Can you tell us when did it get delayed to?
Just 2023. So I'm gonna say we don't know. But I was very excited to play this game because this is the other game. Advance Wars got delayed last December.
I'm surprised by that actually.
And then was supposed to come out. No, the first delay wasn't. The second, not releasing it on release day was.
That the recent one.
Yeah, so because of Ukraine, it got delayed. So I was thinking in my head, I can play Metal Gear Tactics. No, I cannot. So now both of these games are coming out next year.
Metal Slug.
And
Metal Slug.
Metal Slug. Metal Slug. Next direction. So I'm now in between two minds. Do I play Metal Slug Tactics? A new game but same concepts, or do I replay the remake master of the old game? I think I'm going to play the new game. So they've now lost my sale by not releasing their damn game.
Right.
So,
interesting.
So that was my point. I know it's short and sweet, and it's all games that most people don't care about, but I
really do care about Metal Slug Tactics. I was excited about that because I like the side-scrolling shoot 'em up. And I like tactics games, so to merge those two together is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten it was delayed, yeah.
So yeah, and they're both both of them were on my fantasy team. So my fantasy team has been absolutely wrecked. But there we go. But at least Mario vs. Rabbids is coming out. That'll maybe give it a bit of saving grace.
All right. Burkoff, do you got another one? Or I got one I can go if you can't think of one.
I have a joke one.
Okay, go for it. Why not? It's a fun podcast. We like fun here. And just so I'm not saying I'm abusing you, I'm going to let you do a fun one.
All right, okay. Do you guys remember the episode that we were on where we were talking about games that we were excited for, and Keith came out and he was like, Star Wars Hunters.
Like the one where I showed up halfway through the podcast because I fell asleep.
And then I was like, Keith, like, you realize it's a fucking mobile game, right? And he was like, fuck you. I was so excited about it. So apparently Star Wars Hunters has been delayed from 2022 to 2023.
It's funny you say that, Matt, because I was scrolling through and saw that and immediately thought, well, that's the game that Keith didn't realise was free to play, a battle game. I was on mobile.
Yeah. He read the description. He was like, "That sounds great." I was like, "Nah, dude, it's a free-to-play mobile game." Yeah.
Okay, I technically have two, but let me give you the easy one.
Okay.
The easy prey. Actually, I could do three, but let's just go with the easy prey first. This one should have been my first one, fellas. It is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are you really that excited about that game? And you're disappointed that it's delayed?
No. That's not. Again, listen to the question of the prompt.
You think it being delayed hurts it, and it's
being
like really
delayed
bad.
Hurts it because it misses the movie date.
Oh,
By a
technically,
Next movie
year.
will be out. But the next movie will be out in a year's time.
No,
So they'll just release it.
no. The movie, they are coming out with the movies every 2 years. Because it's Star Wars and Pandora.
Oh.
Star Wars, Pandora. Disney has held
Oh,
those
you're
slots
right.
for those 2 films.
Yeah.
So it'll be
you're
an
right.
Avatar film, then it'll be a Star Wars film next year, and then it'll be a Pandora film the following year. And they get 3 movies. So either it needs to be delayed 1 more year, or they just release
Probably
it.
will, you know.
I think they. I mean, I don't know if whoever is making that decision can let it go another year, but it should coincide with when the movies are released for sure.
So it has to be
Yeah.
delayed another year.
Do you think Disney, when they acquired Fox, were like, damn, we're still paying Cameron for this film. He's taken like 20 years to make, or like 15 years to make.
Well,
It just made me laugh because I was like, obviously, Fox are letting him do it. But
Well, technically, if we're going to get real technical, Disney is not paying
I don't know.
Cameron. Well,
fair enough.
they are now. But when he was making these films, it was Fox. And Disney bought
I know
Fox,
that.
which then got the film.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
But when they made the acquisition, did they think, oh my god, we've just acquired a film that's not come out and still not coming out for another 5 years? Because at the time it was probably 5 years.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, they just acquired Fox 2 years ago.
Did they?
It hasn't been that
Well,
long. It's only been a
Has it
couple
not?
of
It's gonna
years.
be longer.
No, it's only been a
okay.
couple of years. Because, like, the last Deadpool
Oh.
movie came out 4 years ago, and that was when a Fox movie still. So,
yeah, you're right.
But anyway,
The pandemic's thrown my time frame.
yeah, it made everything feel so much longer. I get you. But yeah, it's they have agreed to 3 films, and then potentially 2 more films if they do well. So
Yeah.
I would recommend this, and it's hard. Like I get it. It's on your books. It's on the fiscal year, but you can still delay this game 1 more year. You can do that. It is possible.
I think so.
It's
Yeah, I think
possible
so.
to hold.
I think it's worth doing.
It's possible to hold it. Yeah, would you have to touch it up the last couple months to make sure it still functions correctly and it's running nicely and updates a little bit? Sure. But the main gameplay loop of it's not like we're releasing a new console in 2 more years. Like nothing's going to change of this generation for another like 5 more years. So
because it's been delayed. It's been delayed from 2022 to the fiscal year 2023-24, which means it can come out in March 24. So at that point, you might as well wait another 8 months and come out with the next film.
yeah, and it probably will sell better too.
Yeah.
Because you can sell it with the movie. You'd be like, you love
I think,
Pandora,
you know what I would do?
enjoy the
If I was
game.
Ubisoft, you know how I do at Ubisoft? See how the film goes. If it's a big hit, hold it for the next film. If it's a bust, get out as soon as possible.
That's
That makes
actually that's
sense,
a great idea. Yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with you 100%.
Yeah.
So that's the easy low hanging fruit. Let me give you. Do you guys have other ones, or do you want me to keep going on my list?
Because I've probably got stuff to talk about all the games. Like all the ones you've talked about, I have interest in. I just thought I'd check it out of the box with my Advance Wars. And
All right, here we go. Evan's at the barbecue, but I'm gonna go for it. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild sequel. It hurts itself
was
by
that
being
ever
delayed to next
that-
I
year.
don't feel like that was ever delayed though. It was never.
was
it
it
never
ever coming
announced.
out this year?
It was.
Was it
I
ever
mean,
announced this
everybody
year?
expected it to come out this year, but
Expected
I
it.
don't think.
Yeah. I don't think it ever's come out
I
this
think
year.
I think it's fine to be on this list.
Okay.
I don't think it is because I don't think it's. I think they're going to do
It was
a,
never
like,
official, but yeah, I get it.
I think in January they'll announce a new Switch, and coming to that Switch will be the new Breath of the Wild game, and it will
should
be
be.
backward compatible with the old Switch, but it will run like garbage,
Just like
Breath of the Wild did on the Wii.
Right, on the
So
Wii,
That's
stupid.
exactly what they'll do.
So
Yeah, that's what they'll
stupid.
do.
Well,
And then they can, and yeah,
I think it's
There you go.
even though I still think it's a bad idea that it got moved away to next year because again, there's a lot of juggernauts next year, and this is a juggernaut, but juggernauts do cannibalize each other, and there is, and especially if they're going to release if there is a new Switch. There is not confirmed there is no confirmation there is a new Switch, but if there is,
no.
it
It's
also will cannibalize its. I won't say certainty. I don't think it's happening. Just saying, but that's just me. But anyway,
I don't know. I don't know when, but it will. I mean,
I
the
don't-
Switch
I
is
knew-
way too big.
I think a new Switch isn't coming for another year to 2 years.
Maybe.
So
yeah.
like next fall, the earliest. I don't think it's ever going to release
I
when
feel
this
like-
game releases. I don't think
I feel like Nintendo has definitely hit their stride with the medium, like the mid cycle release. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna release something that is
they already did. It's the OLED.
well, no, but has like upgraded specs that has a little more power,
No,
right?
no.
Just like they did with the new 3DS.
Yeah, but then they released something called the Wii U, and that was an epic failure too. And that was what you would
To be
call
fair,
that's what you would call a mid-tier console release too.
since Breath of the Wild came out, they've released a Zelda type game, either a remake or a like up-res of a Zelda. So you had every other year. So you had Zelda Breath of the Wild in 2017. You then had Link's Awakening in 2019. You then had Skyward Sword HD in 2021. So if it follows suit, then Breath of the Wild sequel should come out next year. I don't think it will, but that's if you look at that's
fair, yeah.
a type of Zelda game.
Yeah, so I think there's just way too many juggernauts. Like, when are you going to release this thing is going to be an issue, because let's just talk about all these games that are coming out. Got Starfield.
I think the only way
you got Final Fantasy. You got potentially. There's talks that Hellblade will be ready to go by next year. Now that's not confirmed or denied. I don't think it's ready to go next year, but there could be. Who knows? Well, what's Microsoft going to release then besides Starfield? Microsoft's got Redfall.
They got Redfall.
And then what does Sony have in the cooking in the books right now? Like, we have an announced Spider-Man game. I think they said 20. Right. Did they say 2023 on Spider-Man? I think they did.
2024. I think 2024.
Oh, I thought that was Wolverine.
That would make more sense.
That Wolverine?
Oh, that was Wolverine. So you could be right. It was Wolverine 2024.
Yeah, so
it's in the bar, wasn't it?
So potentially there's Spider-Man 2 coming out next year. Who knows? This is not coming from anything. I don't know anything.
If they use the same engine, they haven't added too much new graphics. Yeah, they could totally do it.
So basically, there's a lot of games coming out. Like, if there's a time that Zelda could come out and it could be okay, all you have is God of War Ragnarok. Now, that is a behemoth, but that is still just one compared to, like, 5 we just listed.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to say, if you release it with a new Switch, it will do gangbusters.
Yeah. And I guess the one other thing is it's the only Switch game.
Yep.
Comparative to, like, all these other ones are on all the other hardware. Where comparative, like, Zelda will never touch any of them, and none of those will touch the Nintendo Switch. So I guess maybe I just talked myself off the ledge. Never mind.
The only thing is, if they call this like the Switch 2, or I don't know what they do, whatever they do, if they pull a Wii to Wii U situation where it's not big enough a limb, then they could screw them again. Mm. But we'll see.
I think so.
Because they've already been.
I don't know. I feel like the Switch is too big. As long as it's backwards compatible with the entire library.
That's what they're gonna do.
And there's not a big change to the way that the device
always
functions.
Start again. They always start again. I want you to buy that sweet purchases again.
Nintendo doesn't believe in backwards compatibility. They never did. They never will.
Yeah. The only thing that might save it this time, though, is Nintendo Online. If they still offer Nintendo Online with all that other games, and that could be their answer, where people don't have to rebuy them, but they don't actually own them.
Hey, Burkoff, do you know what?
I disagree with you on the backwards compatibility.
Hold on. Do you know what Nintendo believes in? They believe in a backwards buyability, which is buying the games backwards.
So the 3DS and the DS were fully backwards compatible. The Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color Game Boy were all backwards.
Okay, but you're talking about handhelds, bro. You're talking
about handhelds.
Switch is not a handheld. Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Handheld.
No, it is not a handheld. It is not. It is not a handheld. If you try, no, you cannot. Can it play games in handheld mode? Yes. Would you hold on? No. Hold on. Let me finish. Can you play games in handheld mode? Yes. Is it almost impossible to play some games in handheld mode? Yes, you cannot tell me that some of these games are made for handheld mode. It's bullshit. Some of it is so tiny you can't see it. It is made for a television on a console. It is not. Some games are. Some games work in handheld mode perfectly, and some games are made for handheld mode. That it's totally fine. But this console is a console. It is not a handheld. It is handheld for basic games, and it's a console for the major party games. There's no way.
I disagree. It's the Super Game Boy back in the day. That's what the Switch is.
Because I don't agree, Mitch. Because I don't even know where my Switch dock is. That's how I haven't plugged my Switch into a dock for 4 years. Every single Switch game that comes out and I buy, I play in handheld mode.
I wish Evan was on this. I wish Evan was on this podcast. Crap. Yeah, so Dan, you and I are the same. I wish Evan was on this podcast though, because he's one of those people that only leaves it to the dock.
Yeah,
he's never taken it out of the fucking dock.
I agree that games are playable in handheld mode, but is it the best experience in handheld mode when you're playing? No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't make an excuse for it. Don't make an excuse for it. Don't make it. Who cares?
It's better in handheld mode because you blow it up and it looks dire.
Burkoff has a handheld Steam machine that plays games much nicer than the Switch could ever do, and it's not making any damn excuses about that.
Part of the reason I bought the Steam Deck was because it's like the Switch.
He's not plugging into his big screen TV to play it on the TV. He's
but
playing
you can.
handheld.
Right.
What, in Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Have you tried that? Have you plugged your Steam Deck into your TV and played, or do you play handheld?
I haven't yet. No, I just play handheld.
There you go.
It's possible. The dock's not out yet.
But
when the dock comes out, I'll buy it.
But you can do it.
Yeah, but the question being, the Switch, when I blow it up into big screen, it looks like garbage.
It does
when
look
it's
pretty
in
bad.
a small screen, it looks good.
But it doesn't run very well.
It's like a pile of. It runs much better.
No, it doesn't. When you look at the... Okay, hold on. You can't say that now because it is proven games run better on docked than they ever do in handheld mode. They also down-res the graphics when you are playing in handheld mode. It does not perform better in handheld mode. It never does. It never will. It can't handle it.
It is low resolution for sure.
Yes, the screen is smaller to compensate for it. I completely understand that. Yeah, but again, it's not running the best possible way it could in handheld mode. It actually sometimes can be more staggery. It can drop frames in handheld mode rather than in docked mode. Like it is proven.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, but it's still a preferred way to play a lot of like. I'm more likely to grab my Switch out of the dock.
I'm looking this up because I'm looking up the statistic because
and play that.
Because there's always this is interesting because there is a camp that is like never play in handheld mode or rarely, which is me. I rarely play in handheld mode unless I'm on the go. But there is a camp that is like Dan that basically plays in handheld mode. So like I'm gonna look this up so that we're not gonna argue about something we don't know.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Mitch. I'll just say I only play in dock mode when I got my friends over, and we're playing like Mario Kart on the big screen, or we're playing Mario Party, or we're playing a party game. The problem is COVID kind of destroyed the party game environment, so I've just been playing on my handheld, just in my hand. Boom. And my wife can use the TV, and I can. And to be fair, I'm very interested in the Switch, in the Steam Deck. But I currently can't really justify it with my wife when I already have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X.
Okay, so
I can't really justify getting the Steam Deck as well.
Okay, so I do have some statistics. Here we go. So and this is from Nintendo Life. So it comes from the big Mario cheese himself.
Fair enough.
So back in 2017 of October, Nintendo's data suggests that 30% of players used the Switch almost exclusively in handheld mode versus 20% who played it in dock mode only, with the remaining 50% who switched between the two. So it's about even. It's about 50-50.
I would say it's a handheld on those statistics, say it's a handheld over a console.
Yeah.
Because you've got 50% doing both.
By 10%?
30% doing it exclusive. No, because it's 50% are doing both. So they're still using it as a handheld.
Yeah, but they're also using it as a
it's
console.
10%.
It's only 10%. It's not that big of a difference. So it's basically 50-50 split down the middle.
Yeah.
All right. So I got 1 to 2 more games, and then we can hop on off. So here we go. And here I'll name the game, but you could tell me if it's worth the argument or not.
Okay.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
I'm not worried about this.
No.
I was excited, but then the more I see about it, I'm just like, no.
No, but it hurt itself by moving because it's got juggernauts in that next year, and this ain't a juggernaut.
I don't think it has.
This game hurt itself.
This would have killed Gotham Knights in a heartbeat.
No, this game hurt itself by being what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think you can release it whenever. I think it needs to be a straight to PlayStation Plus, straight to Game Pass kind of game if it wants to do big, and put some microtransactions in the thing so people pay some money. That would be my advice.
All right, last one.
I don't think it's enough,
Here we go. Last one.
Yeah.
Redfall. Did Redfall hurt itself by moving to next year?
100%. 100%, I think.
As a game as a service, did it kill itself by going to next year?
I think so because there's not much coming out this November. So actually, people could have really jumped on this game.
Well, it's meant to come out in the summer, so actually it would have been even better.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Now, there's nothing to play, is there? It would have been amazing. People would have jumped on it. Yeah, I think it really hurt itself being delayed out the year. Has it been delayed out the year or delayed just this month? Delayed out the year? I don't actually know.
I'm not sure either. I don't think it hurts it though because I feel like it has its own. I feel like it has its own audience.
Does it have an audience though, Burkoff? Does it really have an audience?
Whoever's gonna play Redfall is gonna play Redfall, and the rest of us just don't give a shit.
Whoever's gonna play Redfall just has Game Pass and has nothing to play.
Yeah, that's what Burko. What I'd say is, if it come out this summer, I would have messaged people. My brother's got PC Game Pass.
I would have played too.
On PC Game, actually, it would be, and we would have all jumped on and played because there's nothing to play right now. It coming out in the first half of January. I've already told you my subscription has lapsed, so am I resubscribing then? No, I probably would wait for what's it called? The other one coming out, Starfield. But I might not even wait.
And then let me put it this way, Burkoff. Before you counter, just let me put it this way too. Would you pay $10 a month for Redfall? Every single month to play it?
No.
Just for Redfall?
No.
And during this summer, I would totally pay $10 just to play Redfall because there's nothing else out.
Because there's nothing else to play.
But next year, when I have to pay to play a bunch of other games like Final Fantasy or Forspoken or Harry Potter. Maybe Spider-Man if that's coming out next year. Like I don't want to pay. I'm not going to add another 10. Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2. I'm not going to add an extra $10 to my order just to play this Redfall game.
Right. Yeah. No. Redfall. I don't know that I ever play. Even though it's going to be free on Game Pass, like I'm just not interested.
It's Arcane, and you just whipped Arcane.
Well, I do like that it's vampires.
They're my
and not
favorite
zombies.
studio. You can't whip this. Bethesda makes great video games. You can't do this to them.
But I'm just not interested. I'm really not. I don't. If I could create my own character, I might be interested. But I've got to play these other pre-generated characters.
Yeah, you're really not into the avatar, are you? You're not.
No, I'm not. Like, yeah, Overwatch.
You want to create your own avatar.
Yeah, Overwatch can't get into it. I don't care about those characters.
Never mind. I'll ask you later. Okay. Well, that is it. Unless you guys can come up with any other games off the top of your head.
Give me 1 second just to look through the list.
And you didn't look through the list while we were chatting about all the other stuff?
Yeah, well, Gollum. But I think that's coming out this year, so don't worry about that.
It was never going to make my list. It was dead on arrival anytime it came out.
Oh, I don't know. If it was free to play, I'd play it. Like, on
I
Gamepass,
feel
I'd
so
probably
bad
give it
for
a
that
whirl.
developer because I bet they worked hard on that
Yeah.
game, and it's just unfortunate that it doesn't look very good. No offense. Like,
No, it doesn't. You're right.
This is a shout out to Dan and
No,
Eris
nothing.
Jones. Homeworld 3.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I'm semi excited. I'm gonna watch optimistically for it.
I'm down to pick it up for like $20 or less.
I don't even know what it is.
I was less worried about it. I was
It's,
less worried about it because what's it called? It's coming out on Game Pass on Xbox rather than on PC. Homeworld. I can't think what it's called. My brain's not working.
Not a Plague Tale.
Anyway, sorry.
So, yeah, Mitch, Homeworld is a space opera grand strategy where you gotta like build up your forces and.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, I got you.
No, it's not Cyberpunk. No, it's like tactics.
No, I'm just
it's
messing
like
with you. I hear you.
yeah, it's like StarCraft.
Well,
It's not
That's
RTS. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's basically
yeah.
Dan's homeland all over again.
Yeah. Oh, home. I need to remember that name. One sec. Oh, Humankind, not even home. Humankind.
Humankind?
It's already out on PC. I've played it on PC. It's great, but I'm quite looking forward to playing it on Xbox downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was
Also, the
delayed?
other
I feel
game.
like I've heard that
Yeah,
name.
no, it's not
before.
been delayed. That's why it was a big hit last
Right.
April because I've been playing it on PC for a year and a half.
Oh, that's
Or
what
you
it
need
was.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
No, that's
PC
why I
Game
was
Pass.
not worried about home world or whatever you just said because
Right.
I was going to play that on Xbox. The other thing I was sad about being delayed though was Settlers. I was really excited for the remake of Settlers, and that's like just fallen into like no one knows when that's coming out.
All right, we're gonna
No,
move on
no
before Dan
Yeah.
names any more RTSs. We're gonna get into an RTS stream. McWan was gonna kill us for it. So thank you for listening to us. I didn't plug our stuff. If you like our stuff, which I don't know how you don't, first off, and two, I don't know how you
We're
made it
awesome.
through this version of the episode of the podcast because we were just like a disaster, but a great disaster. So if you want to
Why don't
follow
we-
us,
It was
we
glorious.
we stream here at twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend, except for last weekend because people weren't feeling well and we just thought it would be better just to not have me ramble on by myself on the show. I spared you. Don't worry about it.
I was drinking cocktails on my cruise ship. So
No one asked you, Dan. No one asked you. You want to find us? We stream live at twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend. If you want to know when we stream, you can follow us on Twitter at pixel_pints or on Instagram at pixelpintspod. We do archive. Yes, children, archive. If you don't know what that means, look it up. It means after we already recorded it. So if Dan was on an episode, it may mean that he was on an episode multiple days ago or weeks ago. And if he's sick, it potentially means he wasn't on the show. Because if he's sick, he doesn't show up. Just
Right.
so you know, kiddos. We archive it on YouTube at Pixel Pints. Just look for us there. We are on every single podcasting service. Just check us out at Pixel Pints. You'll find us there. We're everywhere. We're amazing. Every single weekend, check us out. Burkoff, Dan, love you guys. Thank you for joining. And we are, Burkoff, say the magic words.
I think we're out.
Wait, what? No, that's not the magic words. How many beers did you have?
You don't want to know.
Okay. What's the magic words?
we promote safe drinking.
On. Do I have
On that
to?
note,
Thank you.
we're out. Thanks for the
I think
prompt.
we're watching the video with the people. We're watching the funny Hogwarts video.
We can do that. I have to take a piss first, though. So, yeah, you have to give me a couple minutes.
How many beers did you have?
I think I'm on 8 or 9.